Hunt, 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 hunt,
All right, you're gonna have to let me know what you guys think of that new intro. Trying something different. Had a friend put that together. I think it's awesome. Personally, it's a little long. It's all right. Give me your opinion on that, and I'll jump into the show here. Thanks so much. Howdy, and welcome to the Where to Hunt podcast, the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. I'm your host, Eric, and I'm not here to talk to you about what I know. I'm here to talk to you about what I want to know. And Governor Walker had recently proposed a budget proposal on February 3rd, which has not been received so well by sportsmen. Some things in that budget I'm going to talk about today that would have any sort of impact to public land hunting. And prefacing the fact that, I don't know a lot about this stuff, but I really do want to know more. I'm really looking to, like I said, instigate a conversation around this stuff. So I've got a lot of good feedback from the Where to Hunt fans on the Facebook page. That's facebook.com/Where to Hunt, Wisconsin. So I'll be reading off some of that content from there. I appreciate everyone who participated. On that note, let's get started with this quick episode here. So the budget bill would remove rulemaking authority from the board and place it with the politically appointed DNR secretary. Now, that's an article written by Paul Smith from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. I've tried to find as many seemingly solid sources as I could from both sides of the fence, so you'll get a good flavor of that as I navigate through this episode. Coming from a different article, the Wisconsin State Journal, written by Stephen Verberg, this will give Walker more direct control over environmental regulations, cutting 66 agency positions and halting purchases of land for conservation until 2028. The halting of the land purchases would be known as the Knowles-Nelson Stewardship Program. Now, that program's grown pretty quickly over the last 25 years, but it seems that it has put more pressure on the state's general fund credit card. According to the state's legislative fiscal bureau, federal, state, and county governments own nearly 1/5 of the land in Wisconsin. So essentially, Wisconsin, the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources, owns 1.5 million to 1.6 million. I get mixed data when I research it. Acres of land within Wisconsin, with elements on an additional 289,300 acres, and that's from the Journal Sentinel as well, written by Christian Schneider. And I'm going to talk about that land in just a sec here. So what it's saying is that this is coming from, what article do I have this one coming from? I think the same one, sorry. So all that land comes at a steep price. In the past quarter century, the DNR has shelled out $1.4 billion to obtain this land. Now, it is primarily for preservation and recreation, and about 94% of land owned by the DNR is open for hunting. So it goes into that a little bit to talk about how that operates. Now, my concern is what seems to be some of the other people's concerns that had commented on this topic is that 1.5 million acres is a shit ton of land. Let's just think about that for a second. And of that, 94% that's owned by the DNR is open to hunting. That's a lot. That's a lot. So how much money are we really spending on this land? And it does talk about that. It talks about how much has been spent on the land and then how much we pay out on an annual basis. So for just a quick second here, total state debt services on stewardship bonds was $18.6 million by 2015. The number has grown to $90 million, 85% of which came from the state's valuable general fund. That doesn't count the funds the state has to pay local governments when it snatches land from their property tax rolls. The state has to pay property taxes the land would have generated had it stayed in private hands. So in 2014, the state had to fork over $13.5 million in these payments. So you have to consider they're paying money to acquire the lands, and then they're paying taxes on the land that they've acquired. It's kind of weird. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, in my opinion, but I'm trying to keep my opinion aside of this and just present some facts. So to me, it seems the biggest impact that this could have to public land hunting in this state, in Wisconsin, would be the fact that it would put this Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program on hold until 2028. On the other side, though, we do have a lot of land, and what impact is that really going to have in the long haul? I don't know. And that's what I'm kind of trying to get after here is what's the bigger picture? Because I'm not seeing it. I don't get it. People are saying, oh, it's going to be like Texas. Well, I sure shit hope not. But I don't know. Is that jumping to conclusions? It's really tough to say. On the other side, what happens when Walker isn't in office anymore and it's a government-appointed official that's delegating what the DNR is doing to some effect? Even if Walker was awesome in that role and did a great job, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, there's going to be other people able to make those calls, and I don't know what their agenda is going to be and how that's all going to break down. And I don't have money to go buy private land, at least not yet in this point in time in my life, so I'd really like to keep the public land that we have, and it seems as it's crowded enough and that the herd is thin enough, so maybe 1.5 million acres isn't enough. I don't know. I'm not the expert, right? So just wanted to kind of flesh this topic out a little bit. Had some good feedback from people. So some people are more hot-headed than others, which is a passionate topic, I understand. One person in specific had a decent point to make here, and kind of the point that I'm going with. Chris Peterson said that it was a hot topic at the State Friends of the NRA convention. They assured that there's no land is being sold and that the hold on buying new land is also set in place. But he's saying, where do you draw the line? The state of Wisconsin owns 1.5 million acres, not including the land that the government buildings are set on. I would say this is enough land. So some people think it is, and I tend to agree for the most part. But in the long run, I don't know what this will do. And what will happen with the DNR losing the control and losing the scientific approach of dealing with herd management and land conservation, that kind of stuff. So just a real quick episode about that general topic. Let me see if I had any other thoughts here. Another comment here from Scott Ford from Mud Duck Guide Service actually said, Act 10 and this budget is terrible for hunters, fishermen, and outdoor enthusiasts. It puts biology in the hands of government instead of biologists. They will eliminate our state's own biologists and begin contracting. Sounds like a Texas plan to me. So there's that Texas thing kind of coming up again. Another person, Dave Temke, welcome to the Dr. Deer method, privatization of all lands. Hope that QDM methods are respected by all hunters in a given area. Other side effect, it forces people to either join a club, buy land, or get permission from landowners. Very happy to be... Okay, so I don't have to keep reading. But that's interesting too. If it gets to a point down the road when we... I don't know what generation I'd be classified as, but someday I'll have kids and they'll have kids, and what's the future look like for them? It's not just me. I'm not trying to be entirely selfish here, although it is concerning just when you can't see the bigger picture. So I guess this is one of those issues where sportsmen need to decide, am I going to support what's best for the future of conservation and hunting? Or am I going to support all policies proposed by a politician I normally vote for? And if you don't vote for them, I don't know, maybe you don't care. I guess I'm not really certain, but it's not as black and white as you would think, where it's Republican good for hunting, Democrat bad for hunting. It's a little bit more gray. It's not so black and white, which is why I wanted to bring this topic to fruition on my page and channel on this podcast. There's more people out there that know far more than me, and as a collective voice, I think we can get some more information about it, at least find some more resources and become more aware of what we can do once we do understand this better. To those that do understand better, help us out. Figure out what it is we can be doing here. I know not everyone had reacted incredibly well to this. In fact, the Wisconsin Conservation of Congress, which is, let's see what they define themselves as here. They are the Wisconsin Conservation Congress is the only statutory body in the state where citizens elect delegates to advise the Natural Resources Board and the Department of Natural Resources on how to responsibly manage Wisconsin's natural resources for present and future generations. The Congress accomplishes this through open, impartial, broad-ranged actions. So they had a pretty poor response in general and released a letter in strong opposition to the proposal that was released on... I don't know when it was released on. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But, so there's some people that are having, obviously, a negative impact to this overall. Just want to get it out there. Thanks again for listening. Sorry if I was a little long-breathed on this one. I'm a little under the weather, so I got a runny nose I've been trying to deal with this whole episode here. So sorry about that, short on breath. If you can, please give us a positive rating or any rating, hopefully a positive rating, and or a review on iTunes. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/wheretohunt. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and hunt public.